If people find out that you read the Quran, you're intimidating. You're disciplined, you're stoic. Like, if you read the Torah, if you read the Old Testament as a devout Orthodox Jew, then you're probably just a virgin. Mom, if you love me, I'm gonna hit the crossbar, Mom. Just drive like 30 minutes and throw him over the mountain ledge. Fuck my grandparents and fuck my aunts and uncles and fuck my family and all my parenti and everyone I ever know gets paid $300,000 a year to eat, work out, and get his dick sucked in the city of Turin. All right, what's going on, folks? Welcome back to another iteration of the Bordello podcast. What's going on? First time is the Bordello back in studio. We're back. Producer DiLo's back in my presence. It's good to have you back, son. You just finished exams. How would you describe your examination period overall?
Examination period is always the worst. It sucks.
Cheers, Jeff.
I mean, I think everyone can agree that exams blow and that, I don't know, the worst time of the year for me. Can't do anything besides study and think about your exams.
But the good thing is you get to dive headfirst into a nicotine addiction without any shame.
Yeah. I guess.
That's a positive.
It's a positive, yeah.
You know, because Andrew Huberman and guys like him say that it has cognitive benefits. Am I throwing you under the bus?
A little.
A little?
A little.
Does your mom listen to the show?
Everyone knows.
Everyone knows?
Yeah.
Well.
It's not a secret.
Yeah.
Just.
It is what it is. Yeah. I mean,
just now I'm known as like the nicotine addict.
Sorry?
Now I'm known as the nicotine addict.
Well, no, I don't know that you're known as the nicotine addict. You're known as the guy who produces the pod, who studies and is a good boy, who tends to, dabble in stuff like the rest of us, but normally you do it with a little bit of shame because, you're being judged by baby Jesus and by the Holy Spirit. And now, when it's exam time, when it's the end of the semester, you have carte blanche to do whatever you want.
Yeah, you've been reading too much of the Bible.
I've been reading the book of Revelation. That's true. See, that throws me under the bus more than I just threw you under the bus. That looks worse. Being known as the Bible guy is far worse than being known as the nicotine guy. The nicotine guy is cool. No, it's not.
Reading the Bible is respectable.
I would totally disagree. I think if people find out you read the Bible now, they look at you like you're fucking crazy. If they find out that you read the Bible, dude, you know what it is? If people find out that you read the Quran, you're intimidating. You're disciplined, You're stoic, you're into meditation. If people find out you're into the Bible and that you read the Bible, people think that you want to have kids yesterday and that you don't have sex.
That's not where my mind goes, but
it's a very different. I think it's a very different. Yeah, it's a very different breed of person that's seen as reading either. Yeah, and then if you're into like the teachings of the Buddha and you read up on that shit, then you're just kind of a douchebag. And if you read the Torah, if you read the Old Testament as a devout Orthodox Jew, then you're just, then you're probably just a virgin, But yeah. But like, not in a way that's endearing. I think if people think that you're into the Bible and stuff and that you abstain from sex, it can be seen as endearing. For some reason there's I don't know why, maybe this is just my mind going here, but I feel like if you're really into the Old Testament and you're like a devout, like Ben Shapiro type Jew who likes, reading every week, on Shabbat, there's just like this implicit understanding that you're a bit of a nerd and that you probably never got laid until you found your wife, if you have one at all. I don't know. See, the beauty of having changed the name of the pod now is we could dive into these subjects. We could dive into anything. We're going to talk about Max Allegri and Napoli and all that stuff, but it's nice to now, like, if someone were to say, if someone were to fucking send me a message and say, hey bro, like, love the pod, but you got to stick to what you got to stick to the football, get to the soccer faster, Now I could tell them to go get fucked, right? Like, I remember people used to say, you're a soccer podcast, act like it. Now we don't know what we are. We're just it's just a scrambled brain of Sam pod. Yeah, if you read the Quran, I'm scared of you. But not because that sounds bad. Like, but this, this isn't 10 years ago where you say you're afraid of people that read the Quran. Oh, you're gonna blow me up, Muhammad. This isn't that. No, but like 10 years ago it was a very different thing. Now it's cool because like Tate converted. Now
Muslims dominating the UFC.
Yeah. That's a very good point. Now they're seen as disciplined and they're seen as stoic and they're seen as, I feel like they have tenets. They all have like tenets that they follow. And they're all like thinking about self-improvement and, now like calling something haram is cool. Saying something is haram is cool and saying I don't do that because it's haram. That, it's like it's never been cooler to be a disciplined young man. It's never been cooler to be a disciplined young man. Like it's never been cooler to wear a suit and say, I work out and I believe in God and I commit myself wholly to God. And I think that's because of Donald Trump. I'm just See, this is why I need you on camera, is because the facial expressions. You just say, no, I attribute that to Trump, the positive effects of the Donald. Now he's back. Holy fuck. He's really going to do it. He's going to be the next president, bro. He's going to do it. What a shit show. The Empire's, it's over. It's over, man. They are fucked. They're fucked. It's over. They're screwed. They're gonna kill themselves from within. They really are. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. I think I don't think that Italy. There's a lot of people in Italy now. It's why Giorgia Meloni was voted prime minister. There are a lot of people in Italy that feel like the country is losing its identity and such. If you're listening to this and you're a proud Italian abroad, you might even think that a little bit too, which makes you a little bit of a weird guy. But I get it. Like, it's a natural human instinct. But if you're an Italian abroad and you're like concerned that Willy Gnonto has African parents and he's not Italian, bro, he shouldn't play for the national team. That makes you a bit of a weird guy. It does. But yeah, I don't know. So, but there are a lot of Italian people that are a little concerned about losing Italian identity, whatever that means. Some people vote on immigration, on migration and such. That's a voting issue. But then there's a lot of other stuff that kind of gets brought up in the discourse over there, like food. Like, we need a certain quality of food. Like Meloni the other day came out and banned artificial products or meat or whatever the fuck, or stuff made in a lab or whatever. I don't know how widespread this issue is, but it's something she came out and banned. And now, super hardcore Italian patriots are happy about that. They're saying, yes, questa è la patria, Parmigiano Reggiano, Grana Padano, don't fuck around with our stuff, and so it's like, the cool thing about Italy is, and I get that it's a stereotype, right? Fucking food, this and that, but I really don't think Italy will ever lose itself because it doesn't have enough. America has a lot to lose. If Trump comes back and a civil war starts, that's a real empire that goes down, I'm not saying that it happens the second Trump comes back, but there's a real culture war issue in the States, right? Where fucking the people are at each other's throats and shit, and people debate politics in a pretty intense fashion. I think in most places it's always a contentious point of discussion. But I feel like in Italy, there's not quite the same threat of. This is in most of Europe, by the way. I think there's not quite the same threat of impending doom, because the matters that concern them are so much simpler. Like, where does my Grana Padano come from? Where does my Grana Padano come from? We need to foster an environment where we can age Parmigiano Reggiano for 7 years. And if we don't, what the fuck are we? What is this region? What is this town without Parmigiano Reggiano? Our region's gone. Our identity's gone. They're focused on they're focused on little minutia. They're focused on little minutia, which is very important to them and not to many other people. Do you know about Donato De Caprio? He's the Neapolitan salumieri who rips the middle of the sandwiches out. Como ligo senza, signora. He lives in Naples, and his mother was killed 2 weeks ago. It's horrible stuff. His mother was killed, like, in her apartment. Very sad, and there's nothing funny about that, you know. An old lady was killed. I mean, she was murdered, and I think there's like a police investigation. I think they're suing the person, you know.
Didn't they like cut her head off?
It wasn't good. It wasn't good. Maybe, yeah maybe. But like, you know, so this guy's very successful. He has his own sandwich shop. He's very popular on TikTok, and it's very sad, you know. And he's been, you know, obviously, understandably, radio silent for a little while. He went on TV and I think talked about it, and he was very shaken up. He had a Napoli pendant on, like a little, like instead of, which is interesting. It gives you a little like indicate. We focus on Naples a lot. We have this year in particular because Napoli have been very interesting, but you know, it gives you a little bit of an insight into Naples. Like your mom's just died, you're on TV, and you know, instead of like turning to the church, you just have, you know, instead of having like, you know, a big Jesus cross like hanging out. No, it's just Napoli. Società Sportiva Calcio Napoli, just on a little chain, a little pendant, Napoli, just out of the shirt. But anyway, so he posted his first ever post. I think he posted a TikTok or a reel like yesterday or a couple days ago for the first time since her death. And it's a family tragedy. His mother's been killed. Horrible, random act of violence too. Like this happens to anyone. It sucks, you know. But it happened to happen to somebody who's like one of the more famous people online in Italy right now. He has sisters. They're devastated. And he posted a clip of him in the sandwich shop making his mother's favorite sandwich, which she never got to try. And it's emotional, and it is emotional. You feel bad, you know. It's very hard to see him like that. He's you know, it's part of his life. But his mother died, and the way he honored her was by, and again, he's a salumieri, it's his thing, I get it. But his mother died, and he honored her by making un panino con mortadella, stracciatella e olive ripieni di whatever the fuck, mandorle. Queste per te, mamma. Very simple, you know, just comparatively simpler. Not angry about like violence and mental health or anything. Just they're mad because of what happened, but there's not like an outcry saying, hey, we have a real mental health crisis in this country. Hey, you know, we got to do something about like violent crime. No, we're mad. Mom's gone. Here's a sandwich. I love you, ma. That's why people like going back to Italy. That's why they make Under the Tuscan Sun. You know? Corporate lady, hates her marketing job. She's a lawyer, whatever the fuck she is. She gets dumped. She gets divorced, whatever. She's, you know, she's 35. She's afraid she'll never have a kid. And she goes to Tuscany and predictably, everything's a little slower over there. Right? Everything's a little slower. She meets a guy and, you know, his mother died, and every week, what he does is on Sunday he'll bring his mother un panino, mamma questi per te, e tu panino preferido, mamma. And there's something endearing about that. You know. Yeah. Mortadella, stracciatella, oh, fucking olives. It looked like a good sandwich too, to be fair. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to trivialize the matter, but he made his mom a sandwich. I get it, he's a sandwich guy, right? But you know, that'd be like, you know, imagine like if your mom dies and you're like Road to Shaw, or you're like a YouTuber or something, and you like post like a YouTube video. It's like a crossbar challenge in honor of my mom. Mom, you never got to, you know, you know, crossbar challenge, Mumsy. Looking down upon me, and it still takes like 150 takes, you know, just for the 3 shots, and he pretends he gets it on the third try, you know. Last one, mom, if you love me, please help me hit the crossbar. Cut.
Your accent's pretty
again
spot on.
It usually is. Cut. Roll it again, Mom. If you love me, I'm gonna hit the crossbar, Mom. How many times? You know, 25 fucking takes. You know, it's my last chance. Mom, give me a sign. Yeah, no, it's very fucked up. That's a very fucked up thing that happened. I actually, yeah, I mean, I didn't realize how famous he was until Michele and Matteo told me about it a couple weeks ago. I didn't realize that he had like millions of followers. I thought he was just a guy who was like niche famous.
I don't know if this is true, but my friend was telling me that apparently he worked at a other sandwich shop before and he got fired because he was bringing in too much business.
Something like that. Yeah, yeah, right, exactly. Right. Yeah, he worked at he was just a salumieri. He still is by trade, but he was, before he opened up his own spot, I think last year or recently, whenever it was, he was just, again, I'm not trying to diminish the trade, but it's what he was. He was simply an anonymous local salumiere, a guy who would, he'd be able to tell you the best type of cold cut to get from what region and how thinly to slice it and how to pair it with different breads and stuff. And he'd make you a killer panino. But he was a local guy who had a local job in his local community. And he liked Società Sportiva Calcio Napoli. And he loved his mother and he loved his sisters. And he was a salumiere. That's all it was. And then he started posting it on the internet. He started posting his job on the internet. And it blew up. And yeah, I think they said, hey, man, like, stop filming. It's too much. I forget what the fucking name of the place is. They probably wouldn't even want me to publicize it. That's the point. They're like, hey, fuck off. We want to serve Maria, who's been coming here for 30 years. Now we have Pam on exchange, who's coming up from Università di Salerno on exchange from fucking University of Las Vegas, who thinks that she's going to come to Italy and meet Raul, whatever the fuck his name is, the guy who plays the actor in Under the Tuscan Sun. And, she's desperately looking for him. That's why she goes to Italy and she's like, wow, look, it's Donato DiCaprio. I'm going to go to his sandwich shop and she's getting openly mocked. Ma queste troie che vanno schifo. And she's like, oh, how charming. What a beautiful language. Oh my God, so good. Senza. Yeah, it's a new world. It's a new world. There's something endearing about. That's the thing. It's not really the spot you want to go to anymore. I'm sure it's very good. I'm sure the sandwich he served. Maybe he has other priorities now. I don't know. He still runs a business. I don't know how involved he's going to be for a little while. His mother was just killed. It's not fun for him, I assume. But you got to think that it's a really good sandwich that he probably makes, but is that really where you want to go out of your way to go when you go to Naples? Like, I went there last summer and I didn't even know that his place was really worth going to. I barely ever heard of the guy. It's kind of more endearing when you just stumble upon a random place, and yeah, it's like a local place that only locals know about. That's kind of cooler, That's the thing that you really want when you go to any European place. That's why, North Americans like going to Europe, is because of the quaintness of it. You don't want to go to some fucking little town, some beach town in Italy where some guy's gotten famous. And now he runs like a sandwich shop. That has fucking Miami vibes. You think you're going to Pappy Steak in Miami, where celebrities go to, and they're fucking taking videos and shit. That makes you, that would make me want to rage, I'm a gatekeeper of that sort of shit. You would just, I'm a gatekeeper with music, from Italy. I'm not even from Italy, I wasn't born there. I never lived there, you have these guys who are like fucking shouting out, Gioiellier, shouting out Napoli, just, tengo mega yacht and da Bayard, fucking local references, stuff that means nothing to me personally. You have baby gang, Rozzi si gira Rozzi, fucking Pacchi, so di Rozzano, stuff that means nothing to me. But because I listen to it and I just do my due diligence and I read about it and I'm broadly aware of where these people are from, what they're talking about. I feel like I have a duty to, I feel like I'm a better listener. Like I'm a more qualified listener than like a random person, like the people at the Capo Plaza concert who we went to a couple weeks ago, who were saying Capo, Capo, Capo instead of Plaza, Plaza, Plaza. And at one point I snapped outside. Everyone was gathered around like the escalades where they were getting into, and a bunch of guys were yelling Capo, Capo. And from down the fucking like the street, I yelled, "Si chiama Plaza Bandisce, ma non saprete neanche come si chiama, per la Madonna." And then one guy was like, "I respect that," and everyone else was just confused, you know. So that drives me nuts because I'm weird, you know. But I'm not even from there, you know. So imagine you fucking you're from this little, you know, this little neighborhood that now has you know Russian chicks with fake tits going to, you know, in the month of August. Comolico senza. Parusta panino, mortadella, Donato DiCaprio, TikTok. Pushta grada, Alexi, Sergei, prosto panino, prostitutken, stracciatella burrata. I can see why that gets annoying. We just, you know, that's the thing that makes Italy cool, you know, just clinging to little local identity and stuff. Yeah. So Lazio's going to win the Scudetto. The time of recording, Lazio, by the time this is out, Lazio could have lost the Scudetto in 6 hours after this comes out. Lazio are going to probably lose the Scudetto. So Lega Serie A needs to go get fucked. They need to go get stuffed. I sent you a picture. Throw this up for people. The people of Naples are celebrating. They're basking in the glory of their illustrious third Scudetto title, 33 years after the last one with Diego Armando Maradona at the helm. Was he the captain at the helm? That implies he was the manager. He was the captain, I think, or he was there. He was the guy, you know, Maradona's last title. They're on the cusp of winning another title. So, by the way, I'm seeing like murals in Naples now. I mean, all of Naples right now, from what I've been led to understand, is like it's being converted into like a giant, like a 24-hour Napoli Scudetto nightclub. Like the whole city, like the whole old city, looks like a Napoli party. It's like, you know how like when you were like 6 years old, if you really liked the sport team, your mom would like decorate like Pittsburgh Steelers. She'd you know, make you like a Pittsburgh Steelers birthday party or something. What's a team that you like growing up in any sport?
Let's say the Pittsburgh Penguins.
You're a Pittsburgh Penguins fan?
Yeah.
You're a Penguins fan?
Yeah.
You're not a Habs fan?
No.
I think I knew that. I forgot about that. Whatever. I mean, the Leafs, listen. The only problem with not being a Habs fan is that you don't get to enjoy the Leafs suffering as much as me, you know, which I've gotten to do for 20 years up until now. Now I'm suffering a little bit because the Leafs won a first round and people are all very happy, and that's hurting me a little bit. I don't like Habs fans that are like, you know what, I want them to be happy. I don't like sport fans of any kind who are like, you know what, good for them. I'm kind of like that actually right now with Napoli, where I'm like, you know what, good for them. I'm happy they're winning a title. But now that they're celebrating it a little bit much, it's starting to irk me. It's like, okay, I'm ready for Juve to win a title again, you know? For a while, it was like, you're a Juventino as well, right? You know, about, right? I've talked about this saying, you know, for I'm okay not winning a title for another few years. I want it more. No, I want it now. Now that Napoli are fucking goading, you know, they're goading every club, you know, into getting upset. It's working. It's working for me, you know? So I don't like when Habs fans, now, like my father-in-law right now is like, or my girlfriend's father, Paula's father, the other day was like, yes, I'm happy Toronto won. It's like, why? No, watch them squirm, you know? But anyway, I'm all over the map here. So, you're a Pittsburgh Penguins fan. Remember when you were like 6 years old? Like maybe your mom would throw a Pittsburgh Penguins party, right? And there'd be like a Sidney Crosby cutout or something, and then you'd have like a Pittsburgh Penguins cake, you know?
Never happened, but sure.
No, but
I get what
you
mean.
can conceptualize it, right? Like
Yeah.
my mom never did that for me either. But I've seen that before, right?
Yeah.
You're like an 8-year-old boy, and you have like an entire birthday party, which is like a thematic birthday party built around like a team you like.
Yeah.
That's the city of Naples right now. It's like the whole city of Naples is throwing a Napoli birthday party. There's streamers everywhere. There's flags everywhere. So they're leaning into it right now. They've mathematically not won it yet. They will win it because, I mean, they've been the best team, bar none all year. But it's, it should have been a little closer in recent weeks. Every other team is just totally fucked up. Juve should be, point deductions aside, which will probably come in the weeks to, I don't know, in the coming weeks, whatever. We can get to that maybe in a little bit. Just noted that down. But Juve definitely need to revamp the squad. That's clear. But there are games they should have won. I mean, again, at no point this year had they ever played really convincingly, even when they were winning games, right? 1-0 over the course of 2 months, right? They were impressive. And it was hey, maybe they can mount a fucking challenge later in the season. I mean, the reason that never happened is because they kept dropping stupid games to stupid teams. But these are fucking very winnable games, ones that you really should be. And obviously the team was not firing on any cylinders. But in recent weeks, right? If they, in recent weeks, they really dropped the ball. Napoli have dropped points quite a fair bit, in the last month, and they've barely felt it. They will still win the title. They might hobble over the line, but it'll be because there was such a big gap, and it's because no other teams have been able to close the distance. Now, Juve fucking draw to Bologna, lose to Sassuolo, fucking lose to Napoli in a stupid fashion a couple weeks ago, which we never got to because, we had banked episodes. But, the Raspadori goal a week ago, Juve deserved to not win that game, but, the Di Maria goal was probably really stupidly ruled off, If that goes in, maybe, they wind up winning the game 1-0. Maybe Napoli don't come all the fucking way back. Again, I think Napoli ultimately wind up winning the title this season no matter what. It should have been a lot closer than it is, But they're stumbling over the line now. And mathematically soon they'll have wrapped it up. But they haven't technically yet. And the city looks it looks like a fucking 7-year-old's birthday party, thrown by an overbearing mother. And they're basking in it quite a bit now. We could throw up this picture. I sent you an article or a headline. And again, this isn't the whole city of Naples, but when this happens, it's as a fan of another club, this is done to upset them, and it's working for me right now. Can you read what's the headline?
Scudetto party in the case. Casa Nuova.
Right. Casa Nuova. I don't read. Yeah. I can't read.
District of Naples, a cemetery of Napoli's opposing teams has been built.
Right. A cemetery of Napoli's opposition has been built. So, right. Okay, right. I remember what this is now. Right. So there's a neighborhood. Is it the neighborhood of Casa Nuova? Is that a neighborhood in Naples? I'm not familiar with it. Doesn't matter. There's a neighborhood in Naples where a cemetery was built for all of Napoli's opponents this year. So every other team in Serie A. This is why you guys can't have nice things, all right? When you go 30 years without winning a title, and this, by the way, if Roma won a title, they haven't won a title in over 20 years, they would do the same thing too.
Look how they reacted for a conference league.
That's fine. That was fun. That was in good taste. They threw a party. They're allowed to throw a party. What's not cool is, and again, you don't do this if you're used to winning trophies. For all the shit that as a Milan, as a Juve fan, all the shit that I'll give Milan fans and Inter fans for being Inter and Milan fans. There's a silent respect that the three biggest clubs in the country and their fans kind of all have for one another. Milan won a title last year. They had a really tough 10 years, and they barely made a peep. That's what you're supposed to do. They've barely made it
this season, though.
What are you talking about? What do you mean?
I don't know. That they're still in the Champions League?
That's fine. They're enjoying it. It's awesome. It's a good run they're on right now. But they won a title, and they barely made a peep. They celebrated privately to them, by themselves. They had a little, they had friends over for a little barbecue. They opened up some spumante, and they had a nice summer. The players got drunk. They had a good time. They got their bonuses. The fans are happy. Business as usual. Back to it. They had, they're having an up and down Serie A campaign. Fans are back to being upset again. They're not at least we won a title last year. If Napoli lose a title next year, meaning they don't win it, right? They're in from spots 2 to 19, or 2 to 20. The fans are we have last year. Look, I got my Scudetto 3 tattoo right here on my forearm. This year, this is worth more than this year in the second place finish. It's just, you gotta act like you've been here before. What are you doing? I get it. Some of you haven't. That's fine. Some of you have lived there. Napoli's your whole life. I understand. It's your city identity. You're 25 years old. You only heard about the team winning. I understand. I do. You have to act like you've been there before. You can't get a tattoo for a Scudetto, man. What do you think? How long do you think you're gonna live? You're 30 years old now. How long do you think you're gonna live? Let's say you're a 30-year-old Neapolitan man. Now again, medicine in Italy is a little fucked up. You're probably gonna take a medicine that's gonna kill you by accident in 30 years. So maybe you'll only live to 60, right? I don't know, but you're Italian. You live to be quite a bit older, even though you guys all smoke like chimneys. You tend to live into your 90s a lot of the time. And that's like people that were born almost 100 years ago would live into their 90s. Imagine you were born 30 years ago now. What the fuck do you think the world's going to look like in 60 years? Medicine's going to have advanced a lot more. Let's say you have at least 60 years on the planet. Another 60 years if you live life without incident and you don't get killed or something like Donato's mother. Shit happens. It's just, whatever. It's not a knock at Naples. I mean, that happens anywhere, right? People get killed all the time. I mean, not really, but shit can happen. You know what I mean? She got killed in her apartment. It wasn't a Camorra hit. That wasn't a knock on Naples. You live life without any random, act of bad, random act of violence committed against you, or any fucking stroke of bad luck befalls you. None of that happens. You live a long life. You got another 60 years. You don't think you're going to see another fucking 5 titles? One every 12 years? You're going to get a tattoo for each one? You can't do that. What are you doing? It's going to be a lot now. The Lega needs to get fucked. The Lega Serie A, you can't do this, man. The Lega Serie A moved the Napoli game. I never want to hear Napoli fans. I hate that I care about this. I make fun of people who care, and now the care is coming out of me. I hate that I care about this. But I don't want to hear Napoli fans complain about fucking scheduling anymore. By the way, I love Napoli fans. I love you. I love your city. If I could start over again, if I was rediscovering calcio, I'd probably be a fan of your team. Just geographically, I understand, sociocultural shit in the country. It's probably the team that I'd most, that my people have the closest tie to. But, also there's a lot of my people that are Juventini because whatever, we're a lot of scumbags in Calabria just for some reason decided to, a bunch of Uncle Tom Calabrese decided to worship, the Torinese fucking industrial overlords and Juve. I get it. But I could have very easily fallen for your club, I didn't. I have no ill will toward you. But guys, if you like Napoli, okay, I never want to hear you guys fucking complain about favoritism ever again to any other club. No one gives a shit. There's not a favorite club. What makes most money makes the most sense. Right now, you guys make the most sense because you guys make the most money. Because people are more interested in watching Napoli play because you guys play very well and because something historic's about to happen. You're going to win the first title in fucking decades, right? So, people want to see you guys play. Eyeballs on the game. What Serie A did simply was they changed the fucking scheduling, right? So, just to be clear, I'm all over the map here, right? But Lazio was playing Inter this weekend on Sunday, and Napoli was, I think, supposed to play Salernitana on Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. So, had Napoli won, a Lazio loss, or Lazio dropping any points, whatever. I think Lazio failing to win would have resulted in Napoli winning the title. Now the Lega Serie A switched the date of the Napoli game so that it would be played after Lazio, so that if Lazio lost or dropped points to Inter, then Napoli could clinch the title with a win because that was a better narrative, because it's cooler if in the stadium fans could go nuts and people are watching it on TV. But you understand how peasantry that fucking looks? You're basically saying it's a foregone conclusion that Napoli's winning, and it is. But you don't say that as the league. When you say that as the league, you make it feel a little more normal to put a fucking Scudetto tattoo on your forearm before you've won a title and create a Napoli 7-year-old birthday party in the city and have a cemetery for all of the other clubs in the city. By the way, having a cemetery for every other club, you got a Monza grave. You got a Sampdoria grave. You remember the Simpsons meme, stop, he's dead? Sampdoria is dead. You don't need to go after Sampdoria. What the fuck have they done to you? Dude, I once remember, I fucking, that if you go to Naples, they really lean into this, man. Because again, it's only Napoli in that city. It's not like other Italian cities. It's only Napoli there. There'll be like street vendors that sell toilet paper with like Juve's logo on it, and it's funny, huh? It's Juve, you know. Then they have other rivals too, like Inter, Roma. Dude, I've seen Salernitana toilet paper in Naples. Come on, bro. You weigh 260 pounds. You're a fucking heavyweight. You're going after Conor McGregor, who's a 145er. You're Francis Ngannou. You're going after fucking Salernitana. What are you doing, bro? What are you doing? Palermo. I saw Palermo toilet paper. They were in Serie C at the time. They're bankrupt, you know? And it was old. They had it for years because it was the old Palermo logo before they changed it, before the rebrand. But like, still. Salernitana was in Serie B at the time, bro.
Here you can't even get a Spal jersey.
No.
You know what I'm talking about?
Are you talking about the video that Nick and I did like years ago where we tried to get a kid? We tried calling around asking if stores had a Chievo Verona jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for that very niche reference. I don't even think you could find that YouTube.
You can't. It's private.
Are you disclosing private information?
Yeah.
Are you airing out this podcast's dirty laundry to our 130 subscribers on YouTube, DiLo?
Maybe.
Is that what you're doing? I never had it was our first ever YouTube video, which has since been privatized for the eyes of me and my producer, who's sandbagging me now. By the way, it wasn't an embarrassing video. It was to no end.
No, it was fucking hilarious.
You thought it was funny?
Yeah.
Yeah, we called Evangelista Sports. We called Passion Soccer in St. Leonard and said, hey, bro, what do we say? Do you have a Frosinone kit? Yeah.
Andrea Petagna.
Yeah, right. And there was a guy. A guy said, if you have a cousin in Italy, maybe you could get him to ship it over. I was like, oh, you got your cousin wants to ship it over? No, if you have a cousin.
Then you had a conversation with some girl working there, and she was
working
claiming
at
to
Sportium
know,
in a manja cake fucking neighborhood in the West Island. Yeah.
And she was claiming
Part of my use of that word. It's a cringe word to use, but I don't know what else to call it. It's like, the West Island of Montreal is like a very, it's a very like it was a traditionally Anglo-Saxon suburb. Yeah. So this fucking white bitch who worked at Sportium claimed she knew who Andrea Petagna was. Yeah. She said, yeah, my parents are Italian. Yeah, I know who that is. Yeah. That's a throwback. Yeah, maybe we should do more prank calls and stuff on the pod. I'm going to be 26 years old this year. We need more prank calls. That's what we need. That's what I need in my life is more prank calls. Oh, man. Like, again, like if Lazio won a Scudetto, by the way, they would be even more unbearable. Everyone who wins a title now is unbearable. Juve, Napoli, Juve, Inter, and Milan are the only clubs that can win a Scudetto and it not be annoying, just so you know. Because, like, that's what the natural order of things dictates, is that one of those three clubs should win, you know? Can you imagine if Fiorentina and Rocco Commisso, as I once heard some East End wop call him. It's not really a callback to anything. But whatever, just a random thought that came into my head. I once heard a guy call Rocco Commisso. Not his name. Whatever. Anyway, yeah, he'd be unbearable, bro. You know, Rocco Commisso would be fucking unbearable if Fiorentina won a title. But unfortunately, once in a while, you have to have this, you know? We have a competitive infrastructure, you know, like... But I really think that, like, Napoli fans are probably going to be more annoying than Leicester fans were in 2016 when they won a title. I think even Leicester fans were a little more humble about it, you know? Or at least, like, I think they might have basked in it a little bit, but you kind of expect them to, you know? It's like, okay, it's fucking Leicester. They were in the second tier, like, 2 years ago, you know? It's like, hey, Napoli, what took you so long? You've been around for fucking 10 years buzzing and you've fallen at the final hurdle how many times, you know? There are rumors that Max Allegri is going to be appointed as sporting director at the club next year. Now, that's a very creative way to employ him and get some kind of use out of him while getting him the fuck out of that changing room before he scares off any more players. Apparently, Federico Chiesa is now considering his options because he doesn't want to work under him anymore. Apparently, Angel Di Maria and Dusan Vlahovic are not getting on either with each other or with Allegri. In any event, it doesn't look good if two of the stars on the team are not getting on well under his tutelage. It's not a good look.
Sule liking Allegri out comments.
Really?
Yeah. You haven't seen that?
I like young players because they're stupid and they don't have the wherewithal to not do certain things like that. What did he do?
He liked the comment on Instagram, I think, of someone commented Allegri out and he liked it.
He said it was an accident.
Oh, he came out and said that?
He came out and said it was an accident. you remember when Donnarumma posted some tweet a few years ago, and then he came out and said, "Sorry, my Twitter account was hacked. Ha hackeato del mio account." Then he shut his Twitter account down.
Ringing a bell, but
I think that was like the last thing that he posted on Twitter before like posting victory pictures and stuff after winning the Euro. I mean, yeah, it's the old, it's the oldest trick in the book. Maybe it was an accident. Listen, it could happen. It could happen. That's a Larry David moment, Larry Sule. Accidentally liked a comment. It could happen, but oh fuck yeah, he did. No, so that's what he was referring to. I didn't understand on Twitter today. I saw he came out and said, "Sorry, it was an accident. Didn't mean to do it," but he didn't say what it was. I guess it's in reference to that. The fact that there's even a narrative out there that it would, that it would be believable that he did it is kind of telling us to where things are at right now. By the way, I understand why a lot of Inter fans might want to have Inzaghi see the door, but I don't want to only focus on Juve here. I know that a few other clubs have thoroughly underwhelmed, I think. I mean, Lazio have, I think, on balance when the season ends, I think they'll be very happy with the season they had. I think they'll have overperformed, a little bit their expectations, perhaps. Maybe, right? I think Inter and Juve definitely both underperformed. Milan to an extent. But then you have the Champions League shit, and I think one of those two Milan clubs is going to, be able to sit on those laurels. I think they made the Champions League final. Partially because of a favorable draw, but, doesn't matter, right? Stats don't lie, right? The coach can come out and claim that. So again, I know that Allegri and Juve aren't the only kind of, manager and club, atop the footballing system in Italy that are, I guess whose relationship is up in the air right now. And by the way, they could win the Europa League still. Not that really does a whole hell of a lot. If they keep stumbling into, if they barely qualify for Champions League, and keep dropping points the last few fucking games of the year here, but they win the Europa League, I don't think there's going to be a lot much more conviction that he's the man for the job, Who the fuck do you bring in then, right? Zidane, maybe. There are rumors that he might be the sporting director now, next year. Now, again, that's a very good creative way of getting him to do something for the team for the $10 million a year that you're paying him. You're overpaying for your sporting director if he's doing that. But it's almost like, listen, if he's saying, I know what the problems in the team are, I know what areas need to be improved upon, and he wants to, pivot into a new chapter, fucking great, I think Lippi was a sporting director at one point in his career. I could be misremembering that. It's a thing that's been done. But obviously, he's not like the guy to manage the room anymore. I think if Zidane comes in, you probably have a little bit more respect there. Just because he's new, first of all. But second of all, because he's Zidane. Third of all, because he's won like everything pretty much every year that he's fucking coached, right? So, I think that's the move. But really what you're doing there is, that's just an Allegri shit sandwich. You're fucking creating a shit sandwich where he's still involved in the club. You don't want to fire him and fucking pay him to sit at home. It's like, well, let's try to get some use out of him, He was our coach last year. He's a fucking sporting director this year. Shit sandwich, But I have a question. And I'm not kidding here. This is a very serious question. And maybe you could help me with this. Maybe you could. I don't know if you could. Excuse me. I don't know if maybe you could look this up. Get ready. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what to look up. Maybe like kind of see the legality of this and its implications. It's a hypothetical, but DiLo, if like either through a third party, maybe they hire someone to do it, or maybe like they bring maybe like Andrea Agnelli, perhaps. Maybe if he misses the spotlight, he still loves Juve. He's officially out, but maybe he's still involved with the family. I don't know if he fucking owns stock in the team. Maybe he wants to get his hands dirty again. Maybe he could do it himself. Like if Agnelli or someone from Juve, maybe they hire someone to do this. But if they kind of like Caesar, if they stabbed Allegri and executed him, do they still have to pay his salary? You're actually typing.
No, I was actually gonna look up if a coach dies,
if somebody
Does he still get paid his salary?
No, no. You know what? No, I'm no.
Because I'm genuinely curious now.
No, I'm serious. I think it was a serious question. I want to get to the bottom of this. I appreciate your commitment to your job to always be truth seeking.
No fake news around here.
No. Yeah, I mean, what if they stabbed him? Why do you have to appoint him as a sporting director? What do you do that for? What the fuck? Do you even need a sporting director? Don't we have one? What's he going to do as a sporting director? Why don't you stab him? Why don't you throw him in the river? River Po. Flows into the mountains. What if you threw him off the mountain? Dude, what if you threw him off a mountain? You're near the Alps. Dude, I've been to Turin. DiLo, you ever been to Turin?
No.
I've been to Turin. And when you're in the city of Turin, you're surrounded by the Alps. You're in a valley. Just drive like 30 minutes and throw him over the mountain ledge. Then what happens? What if they never find the body? What if he disappears? Then you really don't have to pay him. Or maybe you still do because he could hypothetically... Because you think if he's not declared dead, if he's not declared deceased, what if he just runs away? But then maybe you could say he's AWOL, so you could fire him, even though he's dead. Can you fire a dead guy? What if you disappear him? He's dead, but officially on the records, no one knows where he is, right? Like that British girl who was abducted from her room in Portugal, Madeline, many years ago, right? Whatever. She's presumed dead, but you don't know, you know? And you burn him or something. You burn him in a fire pit at the Agnelli, at the Ferrari Fiat fucking ski resort chalet up in the mountains, you know, and you disintegrate him, and you spread his ashes in the River Po, or maybe on the feet, you know, at the Allianz. That'd be a little respect. You can't do it. No, you can't do it at the stadium because that's, you know, it's
self-incriminating.
It could turn, you know, it could turn something up, you know. I don't know. They got cameras in there, you know. What, you know, why is the groundskeeper spreading fucking, you know, dark ash on the field? Maybe that doesn't work. But so you disappear him, no face, no case. But then you have to keep paying his bank account, right? Because his bank account is not officially linked, you know. When you die, I think your bank account has to be... I used to work at a bank. When you die, someone has to say this person's dead, and it's now a deceased person's account, and it's a whole different shebang. So maybe you know, he's still technically alive, but then you got to keep making payments to the account. So you fire him because he doesn't report to work. And then you hire Zidane. Why make him the sporting director? What are you doing? That's a little bit too creative. Why don't you just old school, you know? You could probably get some like Calabrese, like there's probably some Ndrangheta members that are big Juve fans. You know? Why don't we keep him at the club? Hang on. Hang on. Whoa. Crazy alternative suggestion here. Plan B. Hear me out. Maybe this, you know, I'm just brainstorming here, right? I'm open to anything. Because I can't see Napoli win another fucking title. I can't. Okay, I need Juve back now. I didn't think I cared. Now I do. There's a couple things that have made me care this year. One, the 15-point penalty. I began to care a lot more then. And it reignited my passion for the club. And now seeing Napoli win the title and not win correctly, like just care too much, that's not cool. So I want to be back. I want to be back in the fucking driver's seat. I want my boys to be back in the driver's seat. So I need to have that happen now. Or I need to enjoy watching Juve play, I should say. So again, option one is you stab Allegri. You stab him. Or maybe burn him, disappear him. That's an option. You're off the hook. Well, option one is actually appoint him sporting director, which is a suggestion now. That's noble. Option two, which I'm suggesting, is maybe you stab him. Maybe you stab him. That's what I'm saying. Perhaps. Option three, you keep him at the helm. Hold on. Chiesa's gone. You don't fight the... Gravina comes out and punishes you again for some other reason. I don't know. isn't the 15-point penalty actually technically not totally?
It's not confirmed.
It's not confirmed, right? It's just provisionally. The ban is provision, or the deduction has provisionally been lifted, right? Maybe if they punish you again, you're found guilty of whatever infraction, you accept it. You don't fight it. You don't fucking go to court. You take whatever other penalties might come your way, and you just tank. You pull an American system that you tank, right? You get relegated. And then you get to rediscover your identity by just beating up on all the southern clubs of the fucking people that actually support you. So you go down to Catanzaro, you go down to Cosenza, you go down to fucking Crotone, you go down to Benevento, you go down to Sicily, you go down to Bari, Foggia, Termoli, whatever what clubs are in fucking Serie B right now. You go down, you clean up the heel in the south, the fucking heel and the toe of the boot, in the south. And you just beat up on them for a year and rediscover your identity and go just remind. And because then what you're doing is the fans of those little clubs who kind of have, like me, right? Like I'm watching Cosenza now a lot, right? Lately. And I'm kind of, I'm enjoying Cosenza a little bit more than I'm enjoying Juve. Well, that really, if Juve gets relegated and I have to watch one face the other, that's a real dilemma that I have to kind of like deal with. That's an internal demon that I have to kind of like fight off and decide what side I lie on. And I pick my allegiances and I say, I'm siding with the big boys. I'm siding with Juve. Fuck my grandparents and fuck my aunts and uncles and fuck my family and all my parenti and everyone I ever know and everyone who likes me and who I go back and they go, hey, Samuel, bentorna. Fuck you. I don't want your soppressato. Io sono Juventino. I'm an industrialist. I stick my nose up to you people. I stick my nose up to my own people. My great-grandmother, who I loved, don't want anything to do with them anymore. Force every Juventino. I have cousins who are over there too. My Juventino cousins, right, in the town, they also stick their nose up to their own town. We stick our nose up to our own little fucking, to our farming roots, our predominantly Greek, Arab, Albanian, conquered roots, and we just say no, we're with them. Sorry. And then maybe you have like a legion of fans in Italy who are reinvigorated, who are like, siamo tornati, ci siamo ecco di nuovo, where we're back in Serie A. I still kind of love my family. I mean, let's not get too, I still kind of love my family. I still kind of love my club. But I made a choice. I realized that I was having some doubts there for a second, You're telling me that Catanzaro got re-promoted to fucking Serie B. You're probably a little excited right now. Hey, whoa. Juve are down in Serie B in 2 years or fucking facing Catanzaro. You gotta fucking take a wide-eye view for a second and say, what's going on? What's going on? Who am I? What am I doing here? What the fuck? What kind of fan am I? Where do my priorities lie? Do I want to just get happy when we fucking get promoted to Serie B, or do I want to try to win a Champions League final again? So you have a fan base that's reinvigorated, and then Allegri's contract runs out. Next year they go relegated, then he has another fucking year in Serie B. Should be a cinch. You get promoted again, beating up on fucking Salvatore, Carmine, just a bunch of teams of
Give Pinsognolo.
Pasquale, Pinsoglio.
No, give Pinsognolo a chance to play.
The goalie?
Yeah.
Isn't it Pinsoglio? I remember, dude.
Is it?
I don't fucking do that guy. I don't even think, the poor bastard, I don't even think he's going to get to play this year. Because normally he gets to play once a year in the last game of the year when, like, there's nothing to play for.
Right, you're right.
Is it Pinsoglio?
Yeah.
Okay, well, whatever. Yeah. I knew who you, yeah. Okay, yeah. I give a fuck how his name is pronounced. He gets paid $300,000 a year to eat, work out, and get his dick sucked in the city of Turin. That's his job. Just be on guard in the city of Turin. Show up on game day and you get to watch Juve games at ground level. And you get to be a Juve footballer. You get paid 6 figures a year net. And you get to just live your life. Everything you do. Like if you lived in fucking Basilicata, you could be playing for Potenza and Serie C maybe. Like a star, Or you could be playing fucking, maybe be like a backup for, Spezia. Spezia is actually a nice part of the country. He could be a backup for fucking like Salernitana, He'd get some games and he'd maybe play 10 games a year. Then you're playing fucking 10 top flight games a year, one of the best leagues in the world. But you live in fucking Salerno. But whether he lives in fucking Salerno or fucking in Ibiza or Antarctica, he's got to get his dick sucked. He's got to sleep. He's got to work out. You know, he's got to eat. He's doing it in turn. He's getting paid $300,000 a year to do it. It's a pretty good deal. Does he give a fuck if we pronounce his name correctly?
Probably not.
Fuck him. Fuck him. Fuck him. You know? So, I mean, yeah, start him. Whatever. Yeah, sure. I feel bad. That poor bastard's not going to get to play this year. When you're a third-string goalkeeper for a top-flight club, the best part of the season is like the last game of the year when you've wrapped up your business, and they probably won't have done that this year, unfortunately, you know? But those guys rarely have bad games. Like, when they come in, they just do a job, you know? Usually the thing is the bar is so low with them that typically just them not making like a critical error like Karius made in the Champions League final a couple of years ago. Like that, like people expect like, the third string goalkeeper to just be fucking dropping balls left and right, you know? They're still pros, you know? Speaking of the bar being set really low, I sent you a TikTok. Can you pull this up, please? Pull up this TikTok I sent you. So this is from friend of the show, Alfredo, who runs the Azzurri TV page. He's on TikTok. He's on YouTube. He does like match vlogs. He's a good kid. We're like we're internet buddies, you know. We're like friends, and we like always give each other like virtual mucks, but we've never met, you know. Not yet, but
yes, they're in the 4th division, but stay with me.
So pause for a sec. We'll restart it in a moment. Sorry. So this is a clip from him, talking about. Well, I mean, we'll restart the clip. I'll watch it with you, but just to be clear.
Okay, so new stadium news in Italy, and no, it's not AC or Inter Milan. It's actually Serie B side Casertana. Yes, they're in the 4th division, but stay with me because this is big news for Italian football, especially in the south. This will be the first time in Italy that a team is participating directly in the construction of its own stadium, with the project likely to cost around 50 million euros. The new stadium will take around 2 years to complete and will have an initial capacity of around 12,000. It follows a British stadium model, being extremely modern and with the stands very, very close to the pitch for a more intimate atmosphere. This is an exciting move by Casertana, regardless of their league position, and hopefully this model and example will be followed by loads of other teams around Italy too.
Okay. Caserta, Serie D. I think that's in Campania. How sad is it? All you have to do. The infrastructure in Italy is so bad. The stadium infrastructure is so fucking decrepit in the top flight. That all you have to do to get plaudits and get people to say, "Oh wow, good job," is to have a stadium that's new and modern. Like if you do that, people are like, "Oh shit." Like, dude, my initial instinct was, holy fuck, 12,000 seater, it looks fucking nice. Yeah, sure. The bar is so low that all you have to do like the craziest thing you could do as a lower tier side is just invest in your team. Invest in your team and take part in a crucial facet of your club. Like, the stadium that you play in is crucial for the fucking team to actually participate in the fucking construction of it. Madness! Isn't it nuts that, dude, look up where, can you please pull up a picture of the stadium? Pull up the Bentegodi. Look up where Hellas Verona play. And I know that in England now, like, Luton Town is maybe going to get promoted, and there's shit circulating now of their stadium being, like, just insane. Like, so Luton Town are a relatively small club. They play in Luton, which is just outside of London. Their stadium is ancient. Like, it's beautiful. It's a terribly shitty stadium right next to apartment complexes. It's tiny, and it's going to be a Premier League stadium if they go up, if they win promotion, if they win, the playoff next year. And that's kind of cool. That's the thing. That's charming. The cool thing about that is, like, Luton, are going to come up to the Premier League if they do come up, and they're going to stay for as long as they stay. And when they go back down, that'll be the end of the party, and that's it. They're meant to be like a lower league team, But like where Hellas Verona plays, dude, the Bentegodi, I think this was a fucking stadium in the 1990 World Cup. Hellas Verona have been like predominantly in Serie A over the last like 30, 40 years, like most of the time, if I'm not mistaken. How shit does this stadium look? Can you pull up pictures of it? This is a top flight fucking stadium, dude. It's a top flight fucking stadium, And while these pictures are circulating, so just to be clear, Like, this is why, and again, like just the larger point here is, this is why Lega Serie A moves games around for the fucking narrative. So the Napoli can have, which by the way, Napoli drew Salernitana on the fucking weekend. They didn't even win the title, right? But this is why Lega Serie A fucking moves games around and says, we're going to move it one fucking day because it'd be really cool if Napoli could win the title at home. What a beautiful narrative that would be. That's a peasant thing to do in a peasant league where you have stadiums like this. Like this. I'm pointing here, that wherever, I'm pointing to it. I mean, it's isn't it crazy? Dude, you have a stadium that doesn't have the track. We're building a stadium without the track. Wow, it's going to follow the British model. Like, that's a big deal. And again, by the way, it is. It is. But that's how low the bar is in Italian football. Like, it's so unusual for a team to do that because typically you'll have, like, people in the town that are just tied to the crap stadium. Like, they're crap, but they're like, yeah, it's our crap. It's our garbage stadium. You know? Yeah, it looks like shit. People will complain about it. It looks like shit. But deep down, you kind of like it a little bit. You like that it looks like shit. I actually think a lot of people in Italy don't want to fucking play in a stadium like this. I think it works because it's Caserta, and it's very cool for them. It's new. It's going to feel fresh. Maybe, wow, investment in the club. Fucking, we'll invest in other areas too. We'll get promoted. Maybe they can wind up in Serie B. Great. That's good for them. Dude, maybe it's, it's part of a long-term project. But you understand that, like they're the only team taking this initiative. No, you know how many, dude, we're going down to Serie D now. There's 100 teams. I think from Serie A down to Serie D. 100, 120. One single fucking team is doing this. Uno. One. Dude, if you have 120 people, if you have 120 kids, okay, and only one of them takes the initiative to start a business, what the fuck are you doing as a parent? What? Like less than 1% of your children is taking their own life into their own hands. That's how low the bar is in Italy, in Italian football. And yet, I don't know that I want to live in a world, and this is where I sit back in my chair and say, this is where I make you think, and I make you say, aha, my 130 fucking followers on how many people do we have? 127 subscribers on YouTube right now. This is where I sit on my high horse and fucking make like a meta claim. But I don't know that I want to live in any other world than one where Italian stadiums are falling apart. Because if they all looked in, like if everyone played in a nice stadium like this, what would there be to talk about? What else would there be to talk about? Do we even have a podcast? Do we have a podcast if, people in a Neapolitan neighborhood aren't erecting like a cemetery for what? Like fucking, who's in the bottom of the table right now? Lecce. There's a Lecce tombstone. You go to work and you walk by. You go to work in the morning in Naples and you say, Napoli, numero uno. See a Lecce, fucking Lecce tombstone in the neighborhood.
Give Lecce some credit. They're not getting relegated.
Oh, I'm sorry. Who's in the bottom right now?
Sampdoria, Cremonese, and Verona.
Oh, Cremonese. Okay, great. Cremonese, fucking tombstone in the fucking neighborhood in Nieva. And here's a fucked up thing. In their mind, the reason they're doing that, in Naples, whoever fucking erected that, the reason people kind of like that is because like all the other teams are further north than them. pretty much. In their mind, they don't think of it as like them punching down, The Cremonese, fucking Cremona, where's that? Veneto, fuck you. You don't like us, so we don't like you. Go back down, They enjoy that. Maybe with good reason. It's almost charming. You know what? Fuck it. I'm happy for Napoli. I'm happy for Napoli for coming so close to winning the title. Lazio's going to win the title, though. It'd be great if in a week... man, what happens if in a week... Because 2 games happen in the next, 7 days. What happens in a week if, fucking... They still haven't clinched it? Then it gets a little weird, Because we need to have, a Napoli fucking Scudetto pod, right? Just because the title, the clickbait, Maybe we'll clickbait this Napoli. I don't know. I don't know what we're doing, but if they don't clinch it in a week, then it's going to start to get real weird. Then they'll start to sweat, Yeah, dude, I saw kids in Naples crying because they didn't clinch it the other day, you know? I want to see them. I want to see them win it in like 4 weeks. I want them to see them win it on like the second to last game. It's going like a 4-game losing skid. Anyway, good luck. Congrats to you guys. I mean, auguri. Fucking it's overdue. What are you gonna do? DiLo, do you have anything you need to add before the end of the show? I had a video I sent you, but I think we're not going to get to it right now. It's maybe we'll keep it for another time. Anything you'd like to add? You want to talk about what's that product from Sweden? What's that Swedish product?
Snus.
Snus.
Snus. Snus.
How's it spelled?
SNUS.
SNUS. Snus.
Snus. Yeah.
Is there like a double
No.
I on top?
I don't know. Snus. Snus.
Snus. What does it do?
Just like chewing tobacco, but like it's dry and you don't have to spit it out. Footballers are using it. Apparently, there's a problem with the England national team. The players are using it.
That's what that shit is? Oh, fuck. Look at you. Always focusing on performance above all else, huh?
Yeah.
Well, good for you. I appreciate that. You were on fire this episode, dude. You're fucking stoic. Just looking up, Ken, if we murder a man, do we still owe him shmoney?
Gotta figure out a way to get Allegri out.
So you were saying before we started that that the government. You just said the government, bro. You may as well have said, the feds there, what they're doing. DiLo before the pod was saying that the government. I don't know what that is. Is that the local government, the Quebec government, the fucking Canadian provincial, the federal government? You're saying that they banned flavored vapes.
Yeah, starting in 80 days.
In 80 days. And you know what's funny was my reaction to that was, what about all the vape stores? What are they gonna do? Like it's a key booming industry, you know? It's a key facet of our economy is the great Christians over at the fucking vape stores. You know, whatever will they do without their flavored products? So they can only sell tobacco flavored or like water flavored.
Just no flavor.
No flavor. Does anyone even make no flavored vapes right now?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Well, that's kind of boring because the whole point of having a vape is to feel like you're having a starburst.
Yeah.
With the benefit of a cigarette, you know? Yeah, at that point, just smoke a cigarette. You were saying, I think I might just start smoking cigarettes. It makes sense. Imagine how sad you gotta have a tobacco flavored vape. So your breath still tastes and fucking smells like tobacco all day. You know? Just gotta go old school, man. You know? Gotta go old school. Anyway. I say we go old school with Allegri and we just garrote him. Like Paulie in The Godfather. Leave the gun, take the cannoli. You remember that scene? You know what the garrote is? So the garrote is like you take the string and you just fucking you just squeeze it tight, you know? I think you can get like a Sicilian Juve fan to do it, bro. You know? They can have like who's the guy that killed Kennedy? What's his fucking name? Shit. Lee Harvey Oswald, you know? You could have like a sacrificial lamb. You could just have some fucking poor son of a bitch in fucking Sicily just take the fall, you know? Some guy who's doing 25 to life anyway for gangsterism and racketeering, you know? You could some guy on the run, you know, you just say he'll take care of his family, you know? Maybe the mob has it out for him anyway, so you just maybe a guy who ratted on him. He's fucked anyway, you know. If they find him, they'll kill him. So the safest place for him is like in fucking like prison, you know. So maybe what they could do is they could send Allegri. I have an idea. You send Allegri on a vacation abroad, on the club's dime, and you have the guy commit the crime abroad, so it becomes an Interpol thing. So he doesn't go to Italian prison where they'd fuck him up, and he winds up in prison in like, I don't know, fucking like the Caribbean or something, you know. It's probably worse. you sent Max Allegri to fucking St. Martin. The guy. You imagine who's a prisoner in the fucking Caribbean, dude? What do you have to do to go to prison in Jamaica? The shit you probably dude, a Jamaican prison is probably if you go. So if
Probably worse than the El Salvador.
I was gonna say, yeah, that shit's fucked up. I think, yeah, like a Jamaican prison is maybe the way, like, so what the way I imagine prison looking like in Jamaica is kind of like the same way I imagine life looking like for like a regular civilian in the city of Bari. You know? Just hopeless, violent, you know? But like kind of just like also like, what are you doing? Like it's sort of violent and aggressive, but it's like there's no real threat of actual violence. It's like kind of almost endearing. It's like, yeah, I don't understand you. That's really what it is. It's like in both cases you just have a bunch of guys who kind of sound like menacing and stupid, but like who just they sound stupid because you can't understand them, you know? You ever heard like a Barese guy speak? You can't understand shit. It's like I hear a Jamaican guy, hey, what you don't know? It's like, hey, bro, like I don't understand you. You sound dumb. But it's like I'm dumb. I don't speak. It's a different language, you know. But like for the longest time, I just thought that Jamaicans just spoke like really stupid English, which they kind of do. But it's basically a whole other language. I just thought they didn't know. I literally do. When I was like 12 years old, I used to think that people in Jamaica like were trying to speak English and it was their mother tongue, but they were just like too dumb to speak it correctly. And it wasn't like a racial thing because they were black or anything, you know, which is what this inevitably could get interpreted as. It's not. I literally just thought they were dumb because they were Jamaican. But it was because I didn't understand that like patois was like a thing. I didn't realize that was a thing. I just like, they sound, because it sounds like they're speaking English, you know? But the boy, you don't know, yes, you know. And it's like, oh, I heard him say, you know, at the end. So he's like speaking English, but he doesn't speak it well. What's wrong with it, you know? Like when you don't even, like before I was able to compute what accents are. But now I'm an adult and I can't compute what accents are. And I don't think that about Jamaican people anymore. But I think that about people from Bari. I do think that about people from Bari. I hope Bari comes up. I hope Bari gets promoted. That'd be cool. Listeners, tune in every week. Subscribe to us if you haven't. Like the pod. Please leave a comment. None of you do. Leave a comment. If you've like listened this far, just comment something. Just comment something. What are you, fucking embarrassed me? You fucking listen anyway. You have an account. You subscribe. Just leave a comment. And more people are listening than are subscribed. So sub. If you're not subbed, please do sub. Apparently, leaving a rating on like the audio platforms helps us too. So you could do that if you haven't yet. And I'm on social media at I'm Sam Adamo. That's the new handle. Follow me if you don't already. Do you want to promote yourself, DiLo, or do you not? No? Okay, we're not ready for that. We're keeping... Okay, all right. Maybe...
I don't got anything to promote anyways.
You don't have anything to promote anyways? This pod is your thing. Maybe you want... You don't want to promote the... You don't want to try to push the family business, the cafe bar, to people who might...
I thought you were going to talk about the...
Be degenerate.
I thought you were going to talk about the TikTok... the clips.
Oh right, yeah, the burner TikTok thing.
That's where I thought you were going.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say if like we have any degenerate gambling addicts who listen to the pod in Montreal, DiLo has a family business, which is basically run off the back of degenerate gamblers, which is fine. We don't have to plug that. We could That was a hockey response. You ever hear a hockey guy fucking give a response to something in an interview? They go, hey, how was that period? Yeah, no, for sure. I just did that. I said, no, yeah. Fucking embarrassing. And I was about to do it there. I was about to say, no, yeah, but I was about to do it again. It's my instinct. It's a Canadian thing. But no, so I almost did it again. I said, but no. And I almost said, but no, yeah. How fucked up is that? I'm going to make a conscious effort to not say it now. In any event, yeah, DiLo has... Yeah, right. So what was the issue again? So you had a burner account. You had a burner Twitter account. No, sorry. You had a burner TikTok account that you would use to post clips of our pod, and you mix it up with like GTA, like
random attention
gameplay.
seeking.
Yeah, right. And you have 9 followers and two community violations for using copyright infringement, because in a video that you posted today with no hashtags, so you posted to 9 people into the abyss. You didn't even try to get it on the For You page. I saw it and I was like, this has 0 views. I was like, yeah, no shit, he has no fucking hashtags. You posted it for 9 people to see into the abyss. And And that got taken down because you mixed it with like like an actual video of like Russian dash cam footage of like car crashes happening. So they flagged it because it was actual car crashes happening instead of like cartoon video game crashes. Yeah, isn't that fucked up? Like you could show like GTA footage of like a car literally flipping over like 720 degrees on rotating on its axis in the air, and it's fine. But if a real car just fucking has a fender bender with a little Fiat 500 Lancia, whatever the fuck, like on a dash cam, then it's an issue.
But the thing is, the reason I had those clips is because other people were posting them.
It's a double standard, DiLo. I don't know what to tell you. As Paulie Walnuts once said, or it might have been Silvio Dante. Silvio Dante once said on The Sopranos, it's anti-Italian discrimination. That's what it is. Listeners, big up. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time. Alla prossima. We'll catch you soon. Ciao.